Salt dough is a really fun thing to do if you're looking for a clay experience while you're at home. It's really easy to make. The recipe is on my website under salt dough recipe, and it only takes 3 ingredients: salt, water, and flour. There's no cooking at the dough stage. You just need to knead it really well for about 5 minutes, and then you're ready to go. When you have finished making your things, you might want to bake it just to speed up the hardening process. Okay, so let's get started. The consistency of Play-Doh. You can do anything that you can do with Play-Doh, and it makes a lot. This is a big piece of salt dough that I made, and it keeps for up to a week if you wrap it in cling wrap and then put it in a Ziploc bag. It's really wonderful, and then you can color it in lots of different ways, and we're going to talk about using color on salt dough in a little bit. You can either bake it to cause it to harden, or you can let it dry. If you let it dry, it takes from 7 to 10 days to actually dry until it's hard. You can draw into it and use lots of texture with it. I used straws for circles, so you can get fairly detailed. This fish is kind of fun. I put a lot of texture in it and drew on it, and my sea turtle also has some texture and some details that have been drawn in. But just like with Play-Doh, when you want to get separate parts and pieces to stay on, you just smooth with your finger so that they stay on, and it can be 3D, like this bear will stand by himself, or it can be flat 2D. Another fun thing to do with salt dough is to use some cookie cutters. Just flatten it out and use cookie cutters like you would with Play-Doh. So the final thing with salt dough is to decide whether you want to leave it in its natural state without color, or if you want to add some color to it. There's a couple of ways to add color to it. The best way I find is to use watercolors. They add a nice rich color like I did on the turtle and the fish, and it dries fairly quickly. I would let it dry overnight though before you try to start to move it. A second way is using markers, either regular washable markers or using Sharpie, and that's how I did this bead. The only problem with that is it tends to dry out the markers a little bit, so that's why I recommend really watercolor. The colors look nice and bright, and it lasts a long time. So whether you leave them plain or you add color to them, have fun with your salt dough creations.